back again with another video. Hope you're doing well. Hope your life's going well. Hope this week has gone well for you. Hope that today has gone well for you. Today is Friday. Yes, we've made it to Friday, March 21st, 2025. It's about 8:27 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope that y'all having a wonderful Friday. I hope it's been a productive and non-stressful Friday for you. I quit veganism. Yes, I said it. I quit veganism. And the reason why I say that, I'm going to explain in this video. Now, I made a video on, Wednesday? Just talking about my thoughts on eating fish, right? What were my thoughts on eating fish? Because somebody else left a comment asking me what were my thoughts on eating fish. So I made a video for that. And then on that video, somebody else left a comment saying that essentially I wasn't a true vegan, basically, because I bought something that has an animal product in it, right? And also because I said if I was to ever go back to eating any kind of meat, then it would be fish, right? So I'm not really like a true vegan. I'm more plant-based, right? And I'd reply back that essentially the video was mainly talking about from a health perspective, because that's what the other person was asking, like, health-wise, what were my thoughts on eating fish? And health-wise, I have to be honest, right? It's not really something that is really bad to eat, but I did warn them about the mercury exposure, and we want to eat the fish that don't have as much mercury in it, right? The mercury. And then also I gave a warning in that video about how a lot of these oceans are very polluted, right? Polluted with plastics, right? Polluted with just general waste, right? And all these toxins and pollutants the fish absorb into their bodies. And so when they catch the fish and then you eat it, those toxins can possibly go into your body. So that's something that you have to really be careful for, right? Which is why you have to really check the source of the fish, and which is why you have to of course, to make sure that it's coming from a source that treats the fish ethically, right? If you're gonna eat fish, but health wise, that was my honest thing. And the comment said that I wasn't a true vegan, and so I had to stop and think about it, right? Am I a true vegan, right? Because really, veganism is not eating any animal products, not avoiding animal products as well, purchasing them and everything. And I had to think about it. It's actually very difficult to avoid animal products in all aspects of your life, right? Give you an easy example. You go to a restaurant, right? And say you go to this restaurant and you order a vegan dish off of the menu. Now, if they cook that vegan dish on the same stove as they cook all their animal products on, it's possible that you can come in contact with something from that animal, right? That vegan food can come in contact with something from the animal. I mean, is it really vegan then, right? Unless you're always going to 100% like fully vegan restaurants, and I'll admit I don't do that, if I'm being honest with you. Unless you're doing that, then it's true. I guess you could say, I'm not a real vegan, right? Let's see. Another example is if you're, consuming something that's fried and is vegan, and they use that same oil to fry animal products in, then you could easily be coming into contact with something from that animal on that vegan product, because they use the same oil to fry the vegan products in as the animal products. So it's just stuff like that. You really have to go out of your way to really make sure, like, okay, how is the stuff fried? How is the stuff cooked or whatever when you go out to restaurants? And you'd have to ask, you go somewhere, you'd have to ask the wait staff, how is this prepared? And I'll admit, I wasn't doing all that, if I'm being honest with you. And that's why, I would consider myself plant-based, right? See, I'm humble enough to say, what? Maybe I am wrong about calling myself a vegan. Maybe I am plant-based, right? And that's why I can't call myself vegan anymore, right? And I quit veganism and call myself plant-based, right? Now, and also too with veganism, right? I'll admit to y'all, at one point I was somebody that really, really advocated for trying to get other people to become vegans just like me. And, I had a moment, right? I had to realize that not everybody's body is the same, right? Not everybody will thrive on a vegan diet. Some people really struggle on a vegan diet. And, I really had to just expand my perspective to truly understand that, right? And of course, along with more research, and I found that with some people, right, they don't properly absorb the the vitamins and nutrients from a supplement, as well as the vitamins and nutrients from an actual animal product, right? So there will be people that'll become vegan and they'll take, the supplements and everything, and they still won't be doing well, and they'll introduce meat back into their diet and realize that, okay, they feel a lot better. For somebody like that, the vegan diet, right, is just not for them. And I had to, just open myself up to, realizing that, hey, there's people that just can't do a vegan diet, right? And ultimately, the truth is, we are naturally omnivores, right? We need nutrients, vitamins that are found in animal products, right? Now, somebody like me, on a animal-free diet, I do fine, right? But somebody else might try the same diet and not do as good, right? Because maybe their body doesn't absorb the nutrients in a supplement, right? The same as the nutrients that are found in an animal product, right? And and I get the concern with supplements as well. You know how vitamins and nutrients and all that, they're synthetic. They're not natural, right? They're made in a lab. I get all that. So, I can understand why somebody wouldn't want to supplement. But I mean, as a vegan, you have to supplement. You have to. You need your vitamin B12. You need your vitamin D3. You need your DHA, EPA. You need your vitamin K2, right? And some of these other things that, magnesium, iron, some of these things that you could easily become low in on a 100% vegan diet. You need those things, right? And I supplement for them, but at the end of the day, it is true that the most optimal way to get those nutrients is through like an animal product, right? It's true, right? And so that's why I was like, I have to open my mind, open my perspective. Because see, when you're really, really, vegan, you really want to spread the message, right? That, hey, us humans should not be eating animal products. We don't need animal products, right? And somebody had told me too in the comments was saying, if we don't really need animal products, then why is it that when you go on a vegan diet, you must supplement? And a lot of times there's synthetic vitamins. They're not really natural. Like, why do you have to do that if this is vegan diet is what we're supposed to be following, right? It's, you have to question, is it truly natural? And I had to kind of think about that as well. And, I don't have any argument against that. So yeah, I quit veganism. I'm going to call myself plant-based from now on, because I realize that's kind of what I am, and, I'm always going to advocate for the ethical treatment of animals, right? I'm always going to advocate for that, because I don't believe in factory farming. I don't believe in, these industrial places where they mistreat the animals and, just do all types of evil stuff, to the animals, right? And treat them inhumanely. But, as long as your source is from a clean, ethically treated source, and of course it's like not processed, then, health wise, it's really not that bad. But, that's just what it is, right? So yeah, no longer vegan. I'm plant-based, right? And I'll probably let y'all know again if that changes, right? you know. But it's life. We call this thing we're going through life, and we're always, or we should always be trying to, expand our mindset with, new information and not be closed off to differing ideas and viewpoints. And so that's where I'm at with it, and I know there might be a few people in the comments saying, how could I do this? How could I change my mind and all that? Well, I'm always trying to, again, expand my mindset, right? There is no one way of doing things in life. And, the fact is, it's not a diet that's going to work for everybody. I mean, that's just a fact, right? It works for me, but it might not work for the next person. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? So, yeah. And also, too, of course, I'm still going to, go heavily against the ultra processed foods, anything ultra processed, right? Man-made, made in a lab. I'm still gonna go all against that. All this ultra processed junk that's making us sick, I'm gonna go against it. Okay. But anyway, I do thank y'all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and yeah, thanks for watching.